Hi everyone, it's Krista and welcome to my channel. Today it is Mixed Media Frenzy and I am using the sketch here that you see on the top right hand corner. And there is like some writing on this sketch. It looks like a stamping of some writing, but I go in and I'm going to use some Tim Holtz, it's collage tissue paper. And first I'm going to go in and I'm going to gesso my white cardstock with some clear gesso. And this is just to prep it and protect it because I'm going to be doing a lot of mixed media on it and I don't want my paper to tear. So it's just kind of, it protects it from any of that happening to it. And also if I make a mistake, I could clear it up easily with a baby wipe or some tissue. So this is the tissue paper that I'm using, and like I said, it's Tim Holtz. And I'm going to be using Vicki Boutin acrylic gel. And what it is it's a gel, it's clear gel. And I'm just using my paintbrush to paint it on where I want to place my tissue paper. And then I'm going to stick the tissue paper to it and then go on top of it as well with the acrylic gel. And what that's doing is not only holding it in place and making it stick, but it is also going to protect it when I put a coat on top for when I go in with my watercolors. And what I'm doing here is I'm just like roughing up the edges and tearing it a little bit because I don't want it to be perfect. I want it to be a little grungy looking. So I'm just making sure that it's in place. And then I'm going to go in with that long strip there. And this tissue paper by Tim Holtz comes in a roll. I got it at a Hobby Lobby. And you just cut and tear where you want to use, how much you want to use. And then you just use it on your paper. So now I'm going to go in and stick this one down. And then I'm going to go over it again with the acrylic gel. I'm going to brush the top of it so that I prep that as well. And this works out really well. And if you didn't want to buy the Tim Holtz, you can always buy regular tissue paper, stamp it, wait for it to dry, and you can use that too, because that's all it says is stamped tissue paper, guys. That's all it is. And now I'm just going to rough up the edges on this as well. And what I didn't realize, though, is when I did this, is that I should have placed it in different places because my photos end up covering up most of it, which I didn't want that, but it's all a matter of trial and error, and now next time I know what I need to do. So now I'm just ripping a few pieces and just sticking them down here because I know that it's going to be peeking out down there and I want to show a little bit. So now I'm going to go back in and I'm taking some more pieces off of the roll. And this does not need to be perfect. It does not need to line up together. It's not meant to be that way. I've watched tons of videos of the ladies who use this quite a bit, and this is how they do it. They just tear it and they put it on the cardstock and then they just paste it on, and that's it. And it's not supposed to be perfect, like I said, so there is no right or wrong way to do this. And you do want to make sure, though, that this is completely dry once you paste this down, because if you're going to go on top of it with any type of coloring, watercolors or what have you, you want to make sure that it is completely dry. So now I'm going to go and I'm going to back up my photos with these papers. This is the Unforgettable collection, and I absolutely love it. And the pictures that I am scrapping today are pictures of my kids when they were toddlers. They were in their huge playroom that they had in one of our other homes that we lived in. And they were just standing by the gate, because we had gates up, of course, and because they weren't allowed in the kitchen. And they were just standing there by the gates looking at us. And I thought it was cute, and I just snapped a shot of them. And I have 3 of them, so this was perfect because the sketch calls for 3 photos if you look at the top. And so these are the photos I decided to scrap. So now I had a lot of scrap in this collection because I have used it several times, and just using some of it up. And then once you see me get these backed with this blue cardstock, then you're going to see me go in and do the mixed media with, I'm going to use Distress Oxides. And the colors I'm going to be using are Picked Raspberry and Tattered Glass. And these are kind of how the photos are going to go. But see how most of it gets covered up. So, but it's okay. It all turns out well. So first I'm going to go in with the Picked Raspberry, and at first I decided to go on my Tim Holtz glass mat here. And I was going to use that to pick it up with my Vicky Bouton watercolor brush that I had, and it was taking too long. So I got impatient. So I went in and I was coloring it, and after I used up all this paint, I decided to go in and do the packaging technique instead, because it just wasn't picking it up enough. And I didn't want it really dark color. I wanted it to be subtle. So that's what I did. And so as soon as I pick all this up, then you'll see me go in and I will use the packaging to paint the background. And I know you see the print on that one, but I changed it up and I wanted to use the tissue. I've been dying to use this tissue paper and try it out, and I'm really glad I did. And see, now I'm going to go in and I'm going to use the packaging technique. Sorry about my dogs barking. And yeah, and see how it just goes on a little bit better. So I was really happy I did that. And then I'm going to come in and I do dry it with my heat gun, and I also pick up the puddles with my paper towels. So this did take me a little bit, but it was worth it in the end result because it turned out really, really pretty and really nice, and I liked it. So see, now I'm picking it up with my paper towel, and see, using the gesso, that's what allows you to do that. So if you want it in spots that you don't want it, you just pick it up. And if I was to use my baby wipe, I would be able to wipe that right off. So now I'm going in with the Tattered Glass, this is, and I'm just going to do the same thing, the packaging technique. And I love these two colors together, the baby blue and the light pink. I think it's just so pretty together. And the kids had on pajamas that were these colors, so it went perfectly. And I'm just kind of like trying to get it on there as much as I can. And I still dab it up with my paper towel again. But I keep going in with the Tattered Glass because this one is really light. And I wanted to make sure you could see it. There you go. And now I'm just going to dab it up, and then I go in it and I use my heat gun and I dried it. And now I'm going to go in and do my splattering. And I do a lot of splatters. I do some up here in the pink, and then I do some in the blue as well, which you'll see me do in a minute. And while I'm doing that, I would like to remind you not to forget to check out the other ladies who are Mixed Media Frenzy. I will have all of their links down below so you could check them out. And I love seeing what their interpretation of the sketches are, because these sketches, like, you could just go in all different directions with these. You don't have to follow them completely. It's just to give you inspiration and to have you try something new. And this is what I did. I decided not to go with the stamp writing, and I decided to try tissue paper, which was really cool. And I will definitely be using it again. And now I'm just trying to get those blue splatters on here because it was so light, the application, that it was hard to get the splatters on the page using this particular water brush, but I just went with it and it worked. And then if you see on the sketch, there is a line that goes across and it looks like a distressed line of ink. So I went across with my Distress Oxide and I went with the pink raspberry and picked raspberry, and I just slid it right across the top. That's all I did. And then I dried it. And now I'm going to go in with my punch that I have. And this one is a punch. It punches out little hearts and a border. And I see that there's a border there with scallops, but I decided to use this heart punch instead. And it came out really, really cute. I love this punch. I got it at Tuesday morning, and it's super cute. So I'm just going in, and I'm going to cut the edges off now. And then you'll see me, I'm going to put it in on the side there, just like it is in the sketch. Just like that. And I'm also going to come in with some other paper, pattern paper as well. I had this flower pattern paper that I really liked, and I decided to rip it and just put little pieces underneath the photos and on the side of my photos, just to give it a little more interest. So see how most of it's getting covered up, the tissue? That's the only thing I didn't like, is that it got covered up quite a bit. And next time I know I'm not going to do that. I'm going to make sure that it shows. But I am putting these pieces underneath, and I'm just ripping it. I had a little piece left, and I decided to use it. And I'm just doing that. And I'm just kind of covering up the gaps and giving a little more depth and interest to the layout. So now I'm just taping it down. I also inked the edges with the picked raspberry. The pieces that I ripped, I inked with the picked raspberry, just so you could see them pop off the page a little more. And now I'm just gonna stick this one down on the side of my photo, and I do go in with another piece on the other photo as well. I just wanted something else coming down along that blue strip to kind of separate it from the photos. And I also did use my distress tool to distress around my photos. And that's kind of how it's going to go, guys. So, and then I'm just going to do this picture here on this side as well. So like I said, don't forget to check out the other ladies. I will have their links down below. And I can't wait to see how they interpret this sketch, because this one was quite tricky. And it was hard because I was using 3 photos, and I'm not used to using that many photos in a layout, so this was a challenge for me. And then I decided to go in with this stencil that I had, and I used my black archival ink, and I just used my little sponger, and I went in and I just stenciled it in, because there was a little circle on the bottom there. And now I'm going to go in with some of the die cuts that come with this collection, and I end up using some of the flowers in a circle piece. I thought I was going to use this one. I end up not using that black one. I end up going in with the heart one instead, but I do use that says Little Moments. And thought I was going to use the big one, and I don't. I end up using the little flowers and then clustering them up myself. You'll see me coming with them in a minute. I changed my mind like several times. Yeah, so now you're going to see me come in with the little ones. And I used 3 of those. And then I also come in with these black leaves. And I end up putting those on the bottom like that. and just make like a tiny cluster here. And I'm just going through everything, trying to figure out what do I want to use, and trying to find the leaves. And I do one with another flower. And then I do also use these little blue ones too, because I wanted to bring some more of the blue in. And that's it for that. And see, now I take those out because I did not like it. And I end up going in with this heart one instead, which was much better. And I end up cutting it, and I use half up there, and then I'm going to use the other half on the bottom here, on the side of the picture. And I do keep that little saying with the arrow. And now I'm going to start sticking things down. So I stick down the heart one that I punched out first, and then you'll see me just ruffling it up a little bit. And then you'll see me back my photos with the craft foam, so I pop them up. And once I get that all adhered, then you'll see me go in, and I'm going to distress the edges of my die cuts with my black archival ink as well. So that's in place there. And I was supposed to move this picture up, and I forgot, and I kind of put it down lower, and it should have been up further, but it turned out it was all good. But I'm really sad that most of my tissue paper got covered up, but I think it still looks good. You can still see it peeking out, and it makes the page look interesting, so I really liked it. And now I'm just distressing the edges of my die cuts with my black ink. And that piece is going to go there. And then the other piece I stick on the bottom, the other half of that circle, like that. And then you see my daughter peeking in. Sorry about her head. She likes watching me scrap, because they like to do it too. And now I'm just going to distress some of the flowers as well, and then you'll see me pop those up on some foam dots. Oh no, I actually popped those up with the craft foam, not foam dots, sorry. And then you'll see me put the leaves down as well, and I do end up using this little round piece as well. I stick it in the middle of the circle, and I do pop that up. And this says the moments in time, because these are the precious moments, right? When our kids are doing stuff like this, and they just look so cute. And now I'm just gonna put these flowers down, and then we're almost done. And then my camera must have went out or wasn't on, I'm not sure. But I do stick something above that half circle there. I put a little camera sticker that I had with this collection up there. And I do put a little heart too. But you'll see in the end result at the end of the video. So yeah, I'm just trying to get these leaves in here. And I'm just sticking them down now. This layout took me a little bit longer than usual, because the tissue paper was a new thing for me. But like I said, I really like it. And now I'm just putting down those little blue flowers that I have as well. Just clustering up my little bunch. And I do add a couple more pink ones too. I just felt like it needed a little bit more. And I end up just stressing the edges of everything on this, because I just wanted it to pop. And now I'm going to go in with some Nouveau drops, of course. And I'm using Baby Blue, and that's a crystal drop. And I'm also using Enchanted Pink, and that one is a glitter drop. So I just put the blue in a few spots, and then you'll see me go on with the pink. And those I put in quite a few little spots here, and then over on the other side of the flowers. And I do put some on the bottom of my border and up here in my photos. And it's just the little details that make such a huge difference. And now I decided to distress the edges with my distress tool. And then I go in because the sketch looks like it's a little grungy, like there's a lot of black ink on the edges of the paper. So I decided to go in with my black ink and edge it with my little tool. So I decided to use the black ink, and I just went around it and I just rubbed it a little bit and gave it that look, that distressed look that you see in the sketch. And it came out really well. I like it. And there it is. And that's it, guys. So I hope you like it. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I would love to have you. Just remember to hit that red subscribe button. And also don't forget to hit the bell. There's the camera, guys. That's the camera I was talking about. I forgot to show that, sorry. And hit the bell, and you'll get notified every time I post a new video. And don't forget, I'll have all the ladies linked down below. Check them out too. And remember, stay crafty. Thanks. Bye.